I found the best lucid dreaming technique, and it's not what you think it is. So as weird as it sounds to say, I'm one of the world's leading lucid dreaming teachers. So I've met literally thousands of people looking to learn how to lucid dream. And I keep seeing the same thing over and over again. When people finally come to me, they've tried hundreds of different lucid dreaming techniques. They've watched the most popular lucid dreaming videos. They've read the most popular lucid dreaming books, but they're frustrated, they're angry, they're disappointed because even though some of the techniques they've tried worked a few times, they stopped working and they feel completely lost. And frankly, most of the time it's certainly not down to a lack of effort or a lack of investment. Oftentimes people have spent thousands of dollars on expensive lucid dreaming courses and still come away frustrated. Why is that, and how can it be fixed? The good news is it boils down to a fundamental error in thinking, but that error can be fixed, and that's what we're going to explore today by learning the best lucid dreaming technique. And this is one of those videos that you can either choose to watch or listen to, so pop in some headphones, put your feet up, and let's first explore the fundamental problem. So in order to understand the fundamental error in thinking, we need to take a slight detour away from lucid dreaming just for a moment to explore one of the weirder, slightly creepier aspects of the internet and life, those dating gurus you see all over the place. So let's face it, there's a lot of lonely people in this world, people who would just love to have a partner and a loving relationship, and that makes them vulnerable because they really, really want something. And when there's a group of vulnerable people with a deep need, there's always some slightly less pleasant people out there who are willing to take advantage of that vulnerability, of that desire. Or in other words, you have a group of people with a problem and another group of people who are willing to solve that problem, or at least claim they can, for some money. Now, is this starting to sound a little bit familiar? Because what you see with these dating gurus, and I'm sure most of you will agree with this, is a very artificial approach to dating, to what it is to be human, what it is to bond and connect with another human being. They boil everything down to tactics, to sterile strategies, to things that, frankly, are a little bit creepy. And any of you who are in a loving relationship or have had a loving relationship will know for certain that when you truly bond with someone, it happens organically, it happens naturally. There is no pushing, there is no forcing, there is no trying. There's a little bit of effort, there's a little bit of compromise involved, but mostly it's about getting to know the other person, being yourself and letting things organically develop. But sadly, when people are desperate, they want easy answers to complex problems, and that's how the whole dating guru world exists. And I'm not saying that all dating gurus are bad, because sometimes there is good advice that you can give people, such as brush your teeth, brush your hair, wear some nice clothes, enjoy your life, be a successful person, be a happy person, be relaxed in other people's company, that kind of thing. But when it comes to structured dating approach or certain chat-up lines, or things like that, of course, there is no one-size-fits-all approach, there is no artificial way to make someone like you. And this brings us back to the fundamental error in thinking that most people adopt when they're trying to learn how to lucid dream. What they're doing is similar to a single person who thinks that there is a single strategy or single technique or single chat-up line to make someone fall in love with you. That seems absurd to us, but why do we do it when it comes to lucid dreaming? Why do we think there is a single, simple, structured approach to having lucid dreams? The two things are incredibly similar. Okay, so let's play a little bit of a mental game here. Imagine I'm a dating guru and you're single and you're looking to date someone. And I tell you that there's a simple structure that you can follow, a simple script that will get you the person you want. And it goes something like this. Step 1. Smile at them like this. Step 2. Say to them, "You have lovely eyes." Step 3. Touch them gently on the shoulder and say, "Would you like to come for a coffee with me?" Etc., etc. You get what I'm saying. You can already tell that this is complete nonsense and you would just come across like a creep, and the other person would run for the hills if you did that. There's that old saying that you meet the right person when you're not looking, and what that basically boils down to is that dating isn't really about what you do when you're dating or changing yourself for dating, but actually going about your own life, living your best life, and then things happen naturally. And lucid dreaming is the same. When you're using structured, rigid approaches to try to induce lucid dreams, it's no different from that rather silly example of how to interact with someone when you're trying to invite them on a date. And that brings us neatly on to the intervention. Okay, so I've got something to admit here, and that is that this video is an intervention for you, because you chose to watch a video that was promising the best lucid dreaming technique. And this video isn't about techniques in the same way that there is no best chat-up line, because there is no such thing. It simply doesn't exist. However, there is a best mindset for lucid dreaming in the same way that there is a best mindset for someone who is single. And that's what we're going to explore. So let's explore the best mindset for lucid dreaming. Okay, so first things first, I'm not saying that there are no useful techniques for lucid dreaming, because as with the dating world, there are certain things you can do that will increase your chances. With dating, that's things like regular bathing, having a good sense of humor, being someone who has an active social life, someone who is interesting, someone who isn't desperate, etc., etc. And the same is true for lucid dreaming. There are certain behavioral traits that will increase your chances of lucid dreaming. And I think that's the most important distinction. I want you to stop thinking in terms of techniques and instead in terms of behavioral traits or behaviors. What is it that you do that is beneficial for lucid dreaming but doesn't guarantee lucid dreams? So with dating, if you wash and you don't smell bad, then that's going to help you find someone, but it's not going to make you find someone. It's going to remove one of the potential barriers. So an equivalent with lucid dreaming would be sleep hygiene. If you're not getting enough quality sleep, then you're not going to have as much of a chance for lucid dreaming. So making sure you're getting a good 8 hours sleep is the equivalent to making sure you have a shower when you're dating. So I really, really want you to break this cycle of searching for a singular path or a perfect path or a structure or a recipe for lucid dreams, because there is no such thing in the same way that there is no recipe for love. The idea is essentially flawed, and if you follow that path, you will just waste years and years until eventually you think, I give up on this, or you find my website, link in the video description, and book a lucid dream tuition session, and then I spend time deprogramming all that nonsense and helping you to develop a relationship with yourself. And that's the key word, relationship. What is it when someone's single and looking for a relationship that they have to do? Well, first they need to be happy in themselves, they need to know themselves, and they need to know what they want so that they can recognize when they meet the right person. When they meet the right person, they then need to get to know that person deeper. A relationship just doesn't switch on and suddenly happen. It's a process over time of two people getting to know each other, evaluating each other, working out whether they're a good match. Lucid dreaming is very similar. You are building a relationship with another part of your mind, and most of the rules of dating apply to that too. So here's a different way to look at lucid dreaming. Lucid dreams, like relationships, are not something you force, because lucid dreaming is a relationship with yourself. Everything you're doing when you're learning to lucid dream is basically a process of getting to know yourself in multiple different ways. So let's take a straightforward example, something every lucid dreamer needs to do: keeping a dream journal. Why do we do it? Well, it's very similar to having a conversation with someone you've just met. You're learning about them. A dream journal is a conversation with your dreaming mind. You are listening to what's being said. You're analyzing what's being said. You're getting to know who that person is, that person being your unconscious processes. Unfortunately, a lot of people treat dream journaling as if it's just something to check off on the to-do list. But that's the same as going for a date and having a conversation with the person you're on the date with, and not listening to a word they say. You're just there because you have to have a date because that's what people do. You're just dream journaling because that's what people do. But if you're dream journaling in the genuine, true way, the organic way, the way that works, that's listening. You listen to what's being said. You learn from what's being said. You analyze what's being said. And obviously, there's a huge difference in these two approaches, and there's a difference in how it makes you feel. If you went on a date and didn't listen to a word the person said, you'd basically end up rather bored and you'd not see the point in it. The same is true with dream journaling. But if you go on the date and you listen to the conversation and you flow with the conversation and you get to know that person better, that's an enjoyable experience. And dream journaling is equally enjoyable when you actually care about what you're being told. And it goes further than that. So you've been on a couple of dates, you've listened to the conversation, and you've got another date lined up. What happens? Well, it flows more easily because you know about that person. You start to recognize what makes them laugh. You start to recognize what things they enjoy talking about. This is the same as dream journaling. The more you get to know your dreams, the more you start to recognize when you're having them. You know how to behave when you're having them, which is essentially with lucidity. And that's essentially what dream signs are. They're you learning the personality and the mannerisms of the dreaming mind. So with the dating analogy continued, as you get to know someone, you start to realize that they flick their hair in a certain way, they wear certain clothes, they walk in a certain gait. And when you're out and about, you spot someone who looks just like them, you think, oh, hold on, that might be them. That's when you would perform a reality check. You've just seen a dream sign. You've recognized one of the traits of the person you're getting to know. And as you do get to know someone, you learn all sorts of other things about them, different variables, such as when they're going to be in a good mood, when they're going to be in a bad mood, when they're going to be free to see you, or when they're going to be at work or with their friends. The same is true with lucid dreaming. In the same way you can't expect someone you're having a relationship with to be free whenever you want them to be, you can't expect to have lucid dreams whenever you want to have them. There are variables involved. And the only way you get to know those is by listening, by observing, and genuinely forming a relationship with your mind. So let's explore the love of lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is a lot like falling in love. When it's done correctly, when it happens naturally, there's no effort involved. It's enjoyable. You want to do it. You want to hear what your partner has to say, in the same way you want to write your dream journal. And just like falling in love, it is a reciprocal process. It is give and take. You're not dominating your mind. Imagine how awful a relationship would be if you always got your own way, if you were the only person who spoke, if you chose what every date was. How long would that relationship last? Not very long at all. And the same is true with lucid dreaming. You are not controlling your mind, you are not forcing your mind, you are building a relationship with your mind, you are growing with your mind. As weird as it sounds, being a lucid dreaming teacher is basically the same as being a relationship counselor. It's my job to help you to build a healthier relationship with your mind and to know what works to keep that relationship going and moving in the right direction. This is why lucid dreaming takes a long time, because all relationships, all genuine relationships, have to grow and develop slowly. Equally, we don't live in a static world. What you were interested in 10 years ago probably isn't exactly the same as what you're interested in right now. You are evolving and growing at all times, and that means your relationship with your mind, in order to have lucid dreams, needs to constantly evolve and grow also. So I want you to really internalize this concept. Lucid dreaming is a relationship you're building with yourself. Approach it that way. Don't be a lucid dreaming creep who thinks that there is a guaranteed chat-up line or a way to barge your way into the dream world. That's just a bit weird, and obviously when you think of it in these terms, is the opposite of what you want to be doing. And you can use this analogy to assess how you learn lucid dreaming and how you practice lucid dreaming. If a source you're learning from behaves more like a love guru, promising instant lucid dreams or offering easy chat-up lines, then is that a healthy approach? Is that really going to work in the long term? when your goal is to understand and develop a meaningful relationship with your mind that will last a lifetime. But also turn that lens inwards onto yourself and ask yourself, am I being a healthy part of this relationship? If this were a relationship with another person, would I be being domineering and thoughtless and not listening? Or am I someone who is actually using my skills of empathy and observation and understanding and adapting? These are the things you need to focus on. You may have heard me say this many times before, but the skills of being a lucid dreamer are hugely transferable to other areas of your life. They benefit the rest of your life. And as you develop a better relationship with yourself, and you learn the skills with which to do that, you will also be able to transfer those into your real-world relationships with other people. So what is the best lucid dreaming technique? Well, it's called No technique, because no two minds are the same. No two dreams are the same. No two moments are the same. You will learn to be flexible and develop an ongoing relationship. And if you've enjoyed this, you can have an ongoing relationship with lucid dreaming by watching one of the videos on the screen right now. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.